Hi there. In this video, we'll be covering writing and publishing a book. It's so easy these days to cut corners when writing your book. Don't do it. Don't cut corners. The difference between doing it right and doing it wrong could be substantial. It could mean everything. By the end of this video, you will learn the different paths for publishing your book, how to dive into the writing, and why you should be very careful about how you use AI in book writing. And stay tuned until the end of the video for an opportunity I really think you're going to enjoy. Let's dive in. Writing and publishing a book is such an awesome undertaking. It is maddening, it's challenging, but if you can move past it and get your book published, this thing that you've been feeling inside of you, it's such a special experience. It can be a life-altering experience. It can be transformative. So the fact that you are thinking about it, the fact that this is something that's weighing on you is awesome. I'm glad that you're thinking about it. I'm glad that you're considering it. I really want you to think deeply about your topic, and I want you to think deeply about the tips in this video. I really want to empower you on your book journey to write the best possible book, to have the biggest impact that you can. A book starts with an idea. There has to be something that you're writing about, some topic, something that interests you to say, I think there's a book here. Your book idea is such an important place to start. You need to have some central focus for the book, something, some topic, some theme, some message. What is your book idea? What is the thing that you're interested in writing about? It should be something that you're really, really interested in, because you're going to spend a lot of time thinking about this book, writing this book, editing this book, waiting for it to be published. There's going to be a lot of connections. So you really want to pick something you care about. This isn't some throwaway project, some quick hit thing, but this is something deeper, something bigger. It's important too in that early going phase to really think about your plans for publication. What does it look like, the path forward? There's really two different tracks to publishing. There's self-publishing and there's traditional publishing. Traditional publishing involves working with a literary agent and a publisher to bring forward your book. And a lot of times when a publisher signs on to work with your book and bring it forward, they will pay you money in advance. They will pay you ahead of the book's release or at the book's release. And then the copies that are sold are used to then make that money back so you can start making money in the future. More and more authors today are switching to a self-publishing model because it actually allows for more money in the end. A lot of times there's more revenue that comes from self-publishing, because even though you might not have the visibility and the credibility, if you will, of a traditional publisher and the media attention that can result, self-publishing books typically make more money per copy sold. So if you have a great platform yourself and you're selling copies yourself, self-publishing might be the better route for you. It really depends on what you're looking for. I want you to think about those two tracks and really think about what you want to accomplish. If you're interested in getting more visibility and attention on your book, more media coverage, if you wanted to appear in more bookstores, a traditional path is probably the best. If you're interested in controlling more elements of the book publishing process, if you're interested in owning the opportunity to make more money from your book, if you're interested in using it as a platform for your sales goals and generating leads for your company, self-publishing might be the better option, but it really depends. Whenever I start working on a book project, I think about the book's foundation, the hook, the audience, and the outline. The hook is really the message, the takeaway for the reader. How are they going to carry forward with this in their life? If you go to Amazon, you write a review for the book, what do you want it to say? You want the reader to say, this book transformed my life because of X, Y, and Z. And you want to know what those things are. You want to really tap into it and understand what your unique message is and how readers are going to carry forward with that. Because ultimately, that's going to be the reason why people want to read the book in the first place. They want the outcomes. They want the goals. So think about your book hook. Audience is another thing. You want to know who your reader is. You want to know who they are. You might even have a name for them, where they grew up, their education level, their job, their career, all these sorts of things. There's so many elements of audience, and it's so crucial to tap into who your audience is, both during the writing process to really draw them in when the time comes for them to read it, but also in the marketing phase, because you want to know where to reach your ideal reader. You need to know who they are. And the next step is outline. You really want to understand what's inside and outside of the frame of your book. You know, a lot of times people just start writing and writing and writing and writing. And then they get 10, 20, 30, 40,000 words in and say, what if this is actually part of the book? You could find yourself writing lots and lots of copy that ends up going nowhere with the book, that just gets stuck. Maybe it's not part of the book at all. By outlining before you start writing, there's a higher likelihood that the words that you write are going to be incorporated into the draft. So you want to do the work of outlining early in the process. You know, if that's mind maps, if that's bullet points, if it's just making a list on a piece of paper, diagram of some kind, whatever the case may be, outline, outline, outline. The writing process is so much fun. It's exciting. It's a rush. It's exhilarating. It's scary. It's all these things. You want to find a way to get the words onto the page, whether that's sitting at the keyboard, whether that's using voice-to-text transcription. It's so common these days to generate text using AI. You don't want to do that. AI is great for ideas. It's great for organizing. It's great for summarizing. A lot of times when I'm thinking about a topic and I don't know what other things to include, I will go to ChatGPT and say, what should I think about this? And it will give you different options. You know, it's great to be able to have ideas thrown out there. But this is just ideas. This isn't writing itself. Writing itself from AI is clunky, it's robotic, it's stilted. Its information is questionable. Did this plagiarize from something else? You really don't know. You don't want to test that. You don't want to challenge that. It's so much more beneficial to focus on telling stories in your own words, telling your message in your own words, because you want your book to sound unique and be unique. And the more that people lean on AI, the more flattened language becomes. It's less unique, it's less special. It takes away the things that make your book special to begin with. So avoid the urge for using AI to write your book, and instead write it on your own, finding the path and the model that works best for you. That ties into my next topic too, which is don't cut corners. A lot of times people will finish a draft and then just jump ahead. Jump through editing, jump through design, and just want to push it on Amazon and publish it. Don't do that. It's bad to rush. You don't want to cut corners. Doing things right is the difference. That goes for the planning, that goes for the writing, that goes to the production, the promotion side. Doing it right is going to have an impact. Doing it right matters, and it's going to resonate the most with your readers. You do not want to rush through the editing process because you're going to have a sloppy manuscript. If you don't use the right editors, and I'm talking about developmental edit, copy edit, proofreading. If you don't use the right editors, you're going to have a sloppy manuscript. And that manuscript is going to have errors and typos and mistakes in it. That's going to make the reader say, I don't know. They kind of rushed it. This is sloppy. It's a reflection on you. After all the time you spent on the book, all the time you spent bringing it forward, spend the time to get it right, don't cut corners, and work with professionals. The next step I want to talk about, the last step in this video, is have a plan for publication and promotion. Have a plan. Understand what your goals are in promoting your book. A lot of times when I work with authors, they focus on driving book sales, and these are empty book sales, typically at the beginning of the process, just to try to gin up support for their book. I don't want you to think about doing that. I want you to focus on things differently, you know, of reaching your ideal audience, of actually having an impact. By having a plan and targets that you want to focus on, it's more likely that you're going to hit your goal or get close to it. If you go in without a target, without a plan, you're going to be behind. You're going to be struggling to catch up. The promotion side of the game is super challenging. It's super important. By having the right priorities, you're going to find success with the book. If your book's priority and your focus is selling as many copies as possible and you don't sell as many copies as possible, you're going to see this opportunity as a disappointment. If your goal is to have an impact and change somebody's life and their way of thinking, and you accomplish that, there's your goal. That's been a successful book. So it's so important as you think about your book and writing it and bringing it forward that you have the right goals in mind, because the right goals in mind are the difference between being successful with your book launch and being unsuccessful. If you have difficult goals to achieve, and the wrong goals to achieve and you don't achieve them, you're going to think your book is a failure. When your book might not be a failure at all, it might be a huge success. It's simply looking at things a little bit differently. If you want to learn more about writing and publishing a book, there's a course that I created that I want to tell you about. It's called my Good Book Accountability Course, and the website is goodbookmastery.com. You think about going to the gym and how often you work out or don't work out. You know, you don't use that subscription at all, and it just goes to waste. I've rethought this, and I really focused on a weekly accountability check-in that, you know, we can learn some things. I work with different authors and we meet up, learn some things, gain some skills, lean on each other, and build a community at the same cost as that gym membership that you may or may not use. It's just so special to be able to connect with other authors and help them on the way, and I'd love to do the same for you. Remember, a good book can change your life. I'm Dan Good. Thanks for watching.